Hello, this is Newslive on Viewer Television. I am Ikioma Eneji. The headlines. Students and parents bash federal government over ASU strike. The National Human Rights Commission inaugurates Law Pavilion for Law Reports and Research. Plus tennis great Boris Becker jailed for 2 years in bankruptcy case. Now we begin with the ASU strike, as there is palpable anger in the country amid preparations for the 2023 general election following the failure of the federal government to reach a truce with the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU and ensure that undergraduates affected by the ongoing strike by the union are recalled to continue their studies. Findings by newsmen show that students and parents and other stakeholders were wondering how the government could afford to allow students to remain at home as a result of its disagreement with ASU and be comfortable with its preparations for the elections. They particularly took a swipe at the Minister of Labour, Dr. Chris Ngige, and the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Chukwuemeka Nwajuba, over their 2023 presidential bids amid the strike. They wondered how either of the two could be trusted with overseeing the welfare of a country as president when they could not address the problem of incessant ASU strikes that have left university education in the country at quandary. The National Human Rights Commission has set up a law pavilion with the state-of-the-art facilities to ease reports and researches for its staff and external users within the human rights community. The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, noted at the official presentation of the pavilion to the staff of the NHRC that the idea is to keep abreast with global trend as well as improve the services of legal advisors. According to him, the legal officers of the Commission will find the pavilion very useful since they are charged with litigation of civil cases on human rights, defending the Commission against legal action, providing other legal services to the Commission, including drafting agreements, MOUs, and other legal documents, observing proceedings as amicus curiae in human rights matters, coordinating Commission's program on pro bono services and reviewing legislations, bylaws, and other administrative provisions by the federal, states, and local government areas in the country, amongst others.
To keep abreast with the global trend and improve the services of legal officers and investigation officers and other officers of the Commission who are charged with litigation of civil cases on human rights, who are defending the Commission against legal action, who are providing other legal services to the Commission, including drafting of agreements, MOUs, and other legal documents, who are observing proceedings as amicus curiae on human rights matters on behalf of the Commission, coordinating Commission's programs on pro bono services and reviewing legislations, bylaws, and other administrative provisions by the federal, state, and local governments, amongst others. The Commission has therefore acquired and installed the Law Pavilion in the library for their use. The Law Pavilion is a result-driven and revolutionary software designed to provide legal practitioners with the advantages of convenient research, advanced, efficient, and cost-effective legal practice. In the Law Pavilion, federal laws are accompanied with relevant case law interpreting such laws, thereby equipping the Commission staff not only with the letters of the law, but also with the spirit behind the law interpreted by jurists.
And Patience Key, former chairman, Board of Directors, Nigeria in Diaspora Organization Americas, has joined the presidential race by purchasing the People's Redemption Party expression of interest and nomination form. Key, who was speaking to newsmen shortly after obtaining her nomination form at the party national secretariat in Abuja, said she would prioritize tackling insecurity, poverty, and injustice.
Number one, with the chaotic situation we see ourselves, security is basic. And to be able to tackle security, to be able to gain peace, we need to look at the root causes of this problem. So we need to put in together structures to be able to tackle and erase poverty in our country. Education, healthcare, building structures. And the third one is wealth creation. A nation that does not produce anything cannot grow. Yes, we're the giant of Africa in terms of our population. You know, the population alone is not going to make us what we need to do if we don't produce, if we are not industrialized, if we don't build the capacity. I believe that the number one thing in wealth creation is building the potentials, because Nigeria has talents. We're a great population. Our population, we need no other country to survive. We just need us to do the right thing and survive.
The party National Secretary Babatunde Ali assured all the aspirants of free, fair, and credible primaries from where the party's presidential candidate will emerge.
By indirect, our circular is already out, our guideline is already out, and it's going to be by indirect. Delegates are going to vote, and whoever wins, I can guarantee you, PRP does not know how this one win and they give this. Our party, the first principle is value and equality of human being. It does not matter if she's a woman. If she wins.
Still within the 2023 general elections, mammoth crowd of party supporters, political associates, and well-wishers accompanied David Jim Kuta from Southern Taraba to pick the All Progressives Congress expression of interest and nomination form in Abuja. In what could be best described as a carnival-like event, the crowd were chanting Say Jim Kuta, describing him as a humanitarian and a philanthropist of repute. Addressing newsmen shortly after picking his nomination form for the 2023 Southern Taraba senatorial seat, he assured the Southern Taraba people of his readiness to offer himself for service.
All about impact. I want to impart in the life of the people of Southern Taraba and Nigeria, the teeming Nigerian youth at large. Number one, the issue of unemployment. That married the issue of insecurity. So when we will try to see how we can be able to complement the effort of the government, which is at the central level, because at the state, there is nothing happening when it comes to that. And by the grace of God, when we come in on board, both in National Assembly and in the state, you will see how we can make it change. We have a lot of potentials in Southern Taraba and Taraba at large, but we need competent people. All of us were businessmen, we are successful in our businesses. You can see to that. We have never held any political appointment. So with this, we will bring our experience on board and to bring about the change that the people are yearning for.
He's a good man and we like him.
He's a man of people. We love him. May God Almighty continue to be blessing him.
Staying with politics, 17 children of an All Progressives Congress APC governorship aspirant in Kaduna, Alhaji Sani Shaban, bought the expression of interest and nominations form for their father to contest the 2023 governorship election in the state. Newsmen report that Asma Sani Shaban, the eldest daughter of the governorship aspirant, said the children came together and contributed the 50 million naira needed to pick the forms. She said the forms were gifts from the children to their father, who she described as an astute politician with great competence and ability. She assured Kaduna State residents that if elected as governor in 2023, her father would address issues of insecurity in the state by creating employment. Newsmen also reports that Shaban is a former governorship candidate of the defunct All Nigeria People's Party in 2007 in this state.
We are here today because we as his children have gathered together and decided to purchase this form for him for the governorship office. He's not around actually, and we wanted to give it to him as a gift. To believe he has a higher chance of winning for Kaduna State because the people love him, the people admire him, and he's a person who relates to the people. He's a person who is empathic. And for people, I believe, to have someone you relate to it draws the people in. I would believe the number one thing would be the issue of the insecurity in Kaduna State, and he believes that the insecurity is something that is led about by lack of job occupation for people, because if there was enough jobs, the insecurity wouldn't be as bad as it is today. So he would like to create more job opportunities for people so that we wouldn't have idle people running around creating insecurity.
And to Taraba State, David Kente, Taraba governorship aspirant of the All Progressives Congress APC, has charged his supporters to remain calm and hopeful as his victory in the 2023 general elections is sure. Kente, who said this in Abuja while speaking with newsmen after picking the party's expression of interest in nomination forms to contest for the party's ticket in the 2023 governorship election. He declared that the journey to take over Taraba Government House come 2023 by the APC has just begun.
This exercise we have done today, Taraba is in the path to progress. The APC is in the path to winning Taraba by the grace of God. As is just been said, we are taking this form to Jalingo for the Emir of Mori to bless it on behalf of the North and Central region, and then we'll take it to Ukari for the Akuka to bless the form, then we'll complete and bring it back for submission.
Our plans are integral. I don't want to disclose it so that our enemies cannot hijack our plan. We are not at all. We are with the people. Of course, even rescuing the rescuer who is supposed to live, we are going to rescue them, inshallah.
When Newslive returns, the police and the National Security and Civil Defense Corps have deployed their personnel across the state to ensure the safety of lives and property as Nigerians observe the Salah and Workers' Day holidays. That's in a moment. To join us again. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is Newslive on Viewer Television. A quick recap of our top stories. The students and parents bash the federal government over ASU strike. Meanwhile, the National Human Rights Commission inaugurates Law Pavilion for law reports and research. And tennis great Boris Becker jailed for 2 years in bankruptcy case. We continue with the Eid al-Fitr holidays as the police and the National Security and Civil Defense Corps have deployed their personnel across the state to ensure the safety of lives and property as Nigerians observe the Salah and Workers' Day holidays. The Department of State Services has raised an alarm that criminal elements were planning to bomb and attack religious and recreational centers during the period. In Osun State, the NSCDC commandant, Emmanuel Ocheja, said it was making efforts to boost the morale of his personnel in order to build a strong workforce and enhance service delivery after the celebrations. And moving on to still within the Eid al-Fitr celebration, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria says security has been beefed up at the nation's airports ahead of the Eid al-Fitr celebration. Faithful Hope Ivaze, the acting general manager, corporate affairs in the FAN, said this in a statement on Saturday in Lagos. The FAN spokesperson assured passengers and airport users of absolute safety and security at the nation's airport during Salah celebration. She advised the general public and intending travelers to make early preparations towards completing the travel requirements in good time. Meanwhile, the Anglican Bishop of Ekiti-Oke Diocese, Reverend Olatunde Olubowale, urged the federal government to fish out terrorists troubling Nigeria before the 2023 general elections and save citizens from undue pain and losses. Olubowale also appealed to politicians in Ekiti State to ensure that the governorship election billed for June was peaceful. The bishop, who queried that the Super Tucano jet and other equipment procured to combat insecurity in the country were being used for, challenged the federal government to fish out terrorists and ensure that they were not preserved for the 2023 general elections. And to Plateau State, its citizens have been urged to demand a premium health insurance scheme for the Plateau State Contributory Health Care Management Agency from the National and State Assembly representatives. The Director General, Dr. Flabong Jamchang, made the call during an interface with the media on securing community stability, the media experience in Jos Plateau State. He explained that the agency has embarked on an aggressive sensitization campaign for all state and national assembly members with a view to buying premiums for the health insurance scheme for indigent members of their communities.
What we'll be doing this morning is just to give you a note of what agency the Plateau State Contributory Health, just to give you an update of what we have done so far at the Plateau State Contributory Health Care Management Agency. And then when we get to that point, we will hear from you what you think we can do to secure community sustainability. And you can share. This is the biggest safety social net that has been created in the history of the state, and the impact is amazing. But then, we would not stop and rest on our laurels until we make sure practically no one is left behind in the business of achieving universal health coverage.
Meanwhile, the managing partner of Universal, Conde, warned against sleeping with animals in Nigeria. He said this in a chat with newsmen on Saturday. The warning came amid concerns over a trending video of a dog having an affair with a lady. The video was said to be recorded in Nigeria. According to Akonde, the Criminal Code Act and the Penal Code Act criminalize sleeping with an animal. He explained that sleeping with an animal attracts 14 years imprisonment in Nigeria. And to religious matters, the last Friday of the holy month of Ramadan in Kaduna State witnessed a chaotic scene after the Friday prayer as a Nigerian police force attempted to maintain peace and order by engaging members of the Nigerian Islamic movement who had come out for a protest at the city center for various reasons. Among them is the release of their leaders' paper documents which will allow them to travel overseas for medical treatment. According to Aliu Tumzit, a spokesman for the Nigerian Islamic movement, a member of the group was shot and killed by Nigerian police, underlining that the Islamic movement is fighting for justice.
It is well known that this Friday, every last of the month of Ramadan, Imam Khomeini declared that this Friday Muslims should come out and show their total support to the Palestinian struggle against illegal state of Israel occupation. So we follow our brothers as it's been doing everywhere. We come out in order to show our total support to the Palestinian struggle against Israel occupation. As we are going, we are protesting. Just Nigerian police come at the back and start firing us, killing one person and wounded several people. Though we can't know the numbers that has been wounded, and they arrested many. We can't even know the numbers of the people that has been arrested.
And on international news, 5 people were rescued from a collapsed building in China, authorities said on Saturday, after emergency teams overnight clawed through the rubble of a structure that housed a cinema and a guest house. Authorities are yet to reveal how many people they believe are still buried underneath the 6-story building, which caved in on Friday afternoon in central Changsha City. No casualties have been reported so far, but an announcement by Changsha said that rescue and search work is still urgently underway. A top Communist Party official was dispatched to the scene in a possible indication of the severity of the disaster. And meanwhile, former tennis star Boris Becker was jailed for 2.5 years after being found guilty of a British court of charges relating to his 2017 bankruptcy. The 6-time Grand Slam champion will serve half of the term, having been convicted at Southwark Crown Court in London over his transfer of huge amounts of money from his bank account. He also failed to declare property in Germany and concealed 825,000 euros of debt and shares in a tech firm. He was acquitted earlier this month of a further 20 charges, including 9 counts of failing to hand over trophies and medals he won during the glittering tennis career. And Palestinians gathered during the last Friday prayers of the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan. They come to mark the Al-Quds Day outside the Dome of the Rock Mosque at the Al-Qasa compound, Islam's third holiest site in Jerusalem's Old City. Earlier, fresh clashes between Palestinians and Israeli police broke out at the compound and left at least 42 people injured following weeks of violence at the Flashpoint religious site. The Palestinian Red Crescent, which gave the toll, said no one was seriously hurt, but 22 people were taken to the hospital. And the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has repeated his warning that Pyongyang could preemptively use its nuclear weaponry to counter hostile forces, state media reported on Saturday. Kim told top military officers that to maintain the absolute superiority of North Korea's armed forces, the country should be able to preemptively and thoroughly contain and frustrate all dangerous attempts and threatening moves if necessary. The leader's comments followed similar remarks at a military parade on Monday, when he said he could use his atomic arsenal if North Korea's fundamental interests were threatened. And to the Ukraine crisis, an emotional Pentagon spokesperson lashed out at Russian President Vladimir Putin's depravity in Ukraine, questioning how any moral person could defend bombing hospitals and summary executions of innocent people. John Kirby, the former U.S. Navy admiral who has briefed journalists on camera 5 days a week since the war began on February 24, lost his composure momentarily as he spoke of atrocities committed in Ukraine. Since the administration of President Joe Biden determined late last year that Russia was planning to invade Ukraine, Kirby has been the administration's key public messenger on the conflict.
Shot in the back of the head, hands tied behind their backs.
And that's all on Newslive. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. Students and parents bash the federal government over the ASU strike. And the National Human Rights Commission inaugurates Law Pavilion for law reports and research. And on the foreign scene, tennis great Boris Becker jailed for 2 years in bankruptcy case. Many thanks for watching. I am Ikioma Ineji. To stay tuned for the rest of our programs.